This video will go through creating an application to consume an external web service found on the internet in Visual Studio 2010. I'm going to create a new project. This could be a web form or a Windows form application. I'll just do a Windows form. I'm not going to add a lot of functionality to this actual program, but I'll show you how to use the web service. We want to go to Project and add service reference. Now you could create your own web service, but the power in web services comes from finding ones that other people have made. This is one website that has a few listed. There are others you could find through searching the internet. I'm going to look at the web services listing and I'm going to look for a free one. There are some that will charge money, some will be free. It just depends on what kind of program you're looking to make. This one is just a test, so here's a US holiday service which is free. It takes me to their website and I just need to find out the URL for this service. It's usually going to be an ASMX file. Here is the URL. I'm going to copy it and paste it into Visual Studio as my service reference. And when you hit OK, it should show you the service. You could give it a more descriptive name there besides service reference 1, but just going to go through this quickly. If it all works well, you'll see the service references added to the Solution Explorer, and the service reference 1, since I didn't change the default name, is added in that folder. You can double click that to find out more information about the methods that become available to you. We're looking at the SOAP client, and here are all the methods of this service. Just like functions that I could have written within my program, but somebody else has written them and I get to take advantage of them. Really important to look at which arguments the functions take and the return type that they return. So in order to take advantage of it, we need to create an instance of that service. I'm going to call it my holiday client. And IntelliSense comes up, shows you all those methods. And I'll just have a message box show up to get the date of a certain holiday. And again, there's IntelliSense showing me all those methods and their arguments. The first thing this one wants is a country. Then it wants a holiday code. And it helped us find out what to put for country, but IntelliSense isn't helping us see what kind of holiday code to put. So going back to the website to see if I can find more information about what a holiday code object definition is, and here's a link, and I'll check for the United States. Although you see this service has a choice for several different countries, and here is a column listing for holiday code. So I'm going to copy that, and it says it wants it as a string, so I'll put it in double quotes, and then it wants year as an integer, so I'll just pass that a year. Now in a real functional program, you might want to make these come from user inputs. But just to get something quick, I'll just pass along hard-coded information. Now this is a common error you might find when you consume a service from the internet. It says that there's multiple endpoints. To see what that's all about, I'm going to take a look at app config. And there's my two endpoints within the client. There's two different binding configurations, so I'm going to copy this binding configuration and pass it as an argument to the constructor for the new service reference. That will get rid of that error. You won't have that error if there was only one in there. But since there was more than one, we need to tell it which one to use. Might need to play around with it. And this program is now using a web service and getting information from that other computer. Now let's think about what else we might want to do with this service. Let's check out some that might return something a little bit different, because that's the real important thing, is to figure out what you need to send and what is going to be returned and how you can receive what is returned. So the get holidays available wasn't real clear as to what it returned. It said it returned a holiday code or something. So I'm going to try to make a variable of type IEnumerable. This is a data type that's basically just means something that can be numbered, like kind of like an array or a collection. You might need to play around with it though and try some different data types or do some research as to what it takes. All right. So the argument I need to pass is just the country, and I know it's going to be stored in something like an array or a collection, so I'm going to use a for each loop to go through those holidays and see if they'll output properly. I'm just going to output them in a message box. This would be something that you could fill a combo box with or something to make a more user-friendly interface, so that you could visualize a user choosing a holiday from a drop-down list and then finding the date available. They could also choose a year from the drop-down. All right, and I'm getting an error that the holiday code, so holiday code is what's being returned from this function call, and I'm trying to use it as a string, and it doesn't like that. So to get more information about what this holiday code looks like, I'm going to put in a breakpoint by clicking in that gray column all the way to the left. And when the program gets to that point, execution is going to stop, and I'm going to be able to examine that object in memory. All right, so here's my holiday. I'm going to click to expand it in the Autos window. And I see that my holiday code has these other fields, and the description field looks like the one that I want. So I'm going to do .description, and you might expect it to come up in IntelliSense, but the compiler or the IDE doesn't know about these fields yet. It's not going to know that that's a field until runtime, when that object gets returned. So we'll try this again. And there's my first one from the date, and here is the description of those dates available. So it's working, and that is a quick and easy consumption of a web service.